to everyone on the East Coast. Really good morning to everyone on the West Coast. If you're able to have joined this early, we really appreciate it. But if you've missed it, just as a reminder, this is all recorded within this meeting chat, so this can be accessed whenever. Today, we are excited to take you across the pond to a little place called Sicily. We have with us today from Cantina Settisoli, Mark Kermode, who oversees global sales for the winery. We have Sarah Valeri, who oversees exports and manages exports, focusing in the U.S. on the Settisoli Sun Label range. And we have Stefan Mochia as well, who oversees exports and in the U.S. Focuses on the Madrarossa range. And we're very excited to welcome Roberta Urso as well.
Hi.
Roberta runs hospitality at the winery and is the global PR manager who has been at the winery for some years now. So she's very familiar with the winery itself, obviously, and all the exciting projects they've undertaken over the past few years to really elevate not just Cantina Settisoli, but the Sicilian wine category as well. You can see we have a fantastic range of wines behind Roberta that we will be going into. I'm going to be sharing my screen, a few different slides as everyone takes their turn going through the presentation, and we'll be flipping back and forth between videos. So please be patient with the technical transitions, but we're really excited. This has been a really exciting rollout for us over the past few years, and I know we're still gaining that momentum to really introduce the American consumer to Sicilian wines, and we've been doing a great job at that on the on and off premise so far, and we've got some really great foundational work to build and really grow this brand, both of these brands. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the call over to Mark Kermode, and he'll give a couple opening remarks, and we'll get the presentation underway.
Brilliant. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for that introduction. I just wanted to thank everybody at Bombay for giving us this opportunity. We're really excited to be able to speak to all of you. We're all in different locations. I'm in London, Stefan's near Naples, Clara's near Tuscany, and Roberta's in the winery. So we'll do our best to try and coordinate things. But I think one of the things that we'd just like to say is we've been together for 16 years, and we're really proud of that relationship. And as Michael touched on, sometimes we feel like it's just really starting because every time, we've got something new coming from our winery. And Roberta will show you some of the newer additions which are in the market. But also, I think, one of the things that we have to talk about is 2020 is definitely an unusual, different year. And going forward, there's going to be some challenges. But without a shadow of a doubt, there are some challenges for all of us. I'm on day 43 of lockdown here in the UK. So life is changed dramatically. And I think we need each other more than ever before. And what we do today is we reach out to you and we look for your support going forward once we can get back into the market. And I suppose my key message is what we offer is really good value for money. And I think, one of the key messages every time we visit the States is people are excited, surprised, and really, the quality does deliver out in the glass. And I think the message going out is all our customers will be looking for exceedingly good value going forward. I think it's also just important that we thank, in terms of Casey Ted for letting us have access with the sales force, Pete, Susan, and Michael for helping put this together, and a special shout out to Mark Taub for supporting us for all these years, which has been fantastic. And we look forward to a different but equally successful going forward. We have to be optimistic. And just to sort of put in the picture, we've had the winery operational production-wise bottling through March and April. And I'm pleased to say that not only have we fulfilled all our orders on time in a socially distant, responsible manner, but we've also exceeded by double digits our last year, March and April. Now, some of it is because people wanted some stock, but I think that's credit to the team that they've worked through these difficult conditions. So we are open for business and really keen to continue our success story together. I'll pass on to Stefan now, and thank you again for your support.
Great. Thank you so much, Mark. I think we can all agree with everything Mark had just said, and want to just remind everyone for questions to hold them at the end, please. I know I've gotten some emails, some questions already, but if there are any other questions that come about during the presentation itself, please use the chat function within this Teams video conference, and we'll be sure to address all at the end. But at this point, Sarah, I believe I'm doing video 1 to start everything, correct?
That's correct, Michael.
Okay. Give me a second. Okay.
Can I go on, Michael? Michael?
Yep.
Yeah. Can I go on? Or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. So, well, thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much, Mark. And thank you very much, all of you at PalmBay, for having given us, as Mark said before, the opportunity to reintroduce to all of you the winery. So let me go straight to Madrarossa. Madrarossa is part of Cantine Sette Soli, which is a giant of the Sicilian viticulture. Also one of the most historical winery of Sicily, dated 1958. Under Cantine Sette Soli, there are 3 main brands, 2 addressed to the off-trade, both domestically and internationally. And the third one, Madrarossa, is actually the only premium and exclusive on-trade oriented brand. When we say on-trade oriented, we mean bars, restaurants, hotels, catering, wine shops. That's how we call that in Italy, enoteca. It's exactly the same for wine shop. Actually, well, I said brand, but we do consider Madrarossa to be like a winery within the winery. That's due to different reasons. First of all, Madrarossa is going to have its own winery being built in the next few months, so a complete separate building. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we had to delay the finalizing of the building of the winery of 40 days. So, but it's still pretty soon. In addition to that, Madrarossa is a sort of selection of different growers and different vineyards, and so different grapes. Currently, different bottling line, different customer service, different sales force, etc., etc. So, as you've probably understood, a complete different unit within Cantine Sette Soli. Just to give you some numbers, of the 6,000 hectares, let's say 15,000 acres approximately, that make up Cantine Sette Soli vineyard surface, Mandrarossa only accounts for less than 10%. So we're about 500 hectares, which is something like 1,200 acres approximately. As you can see from the map in front of you, which is definitely better than looking at my face, that it shows the Sicilian map where we are based. Right? So Sicily, the major and biggest island stuck in the Mediterranean Ocean. You can actually also the Menfi. That's where our headquarters is based. So southwest corner of the island. Sicily, from a wine production point of view, is considered to be like a small continent within a bigger one, Europe, due to its how can I say, peculiar microclimate characteristics. You can read some. Let's mention just some. For example, different sort of elevations, 500 meters from the meters down to some vineyards that literally kiss the seashore. That's only Menfi, because if we talk about the island, as we move towards the eastern part of it, so on top of Mount Etna, viticulture there goes above even 700 meters above sea level. In addition to that, as you can read from the slide, plus other characteristics, sea breezes, which give and provide salty characteristics, plus wind, which are very good against humidity, intense sunlight. And I guess Roberta will be even more detailed on this. The days of sunlight available in Sicily, mild temperatures, which means warmer winds coming from North Africa, as well as cooler winds coming from the back of Etna, plus, last but not least, different kind of soils from which we do actually produce different kind of wines. Even though the first one that you can see and read on your top left, limestone, is the one that we've recently decided to focus on. But I'll go back on this in a very few seconds. This said, Madrarossa was born, and you can see that on our logo, in 1999. And the aim at the back was to basically raise the image of the winery by showing the world the great quality that our territory could actually deliver, in this case, via a premium and exclusive on-trade brand. This is the reason why, as I told you at the beginning, Madrarossa has always been considered a selection of territories, growers, vineyards, grapes. Having this well fixed in our mind, we come now to recent times. And in fact, it was only in 2014 that a new chapter of a second chapter of Madrarossa began, and was when the winery decided to intensify studies and researches aimed at finding the best habitats for each varietal in order to express its potential. And there, as a result, as a consequence, more terroir-driven wines. These studies which were carried out not only by our own technical team, headed by Mimmo De Gregorio and Filippo Buttafuoco, but also with the support of two great consultants, Alberto Antonini, a world-renowned winemaker. And by the way, I was with Alberto Antonini in New York last December, and we recorded a fantastic video at Palm Bay, New York's office. Hopefully you watched or you will watch it. And the second one is Pedro Parra, more a terroir specialist. Anyway, these studies led us to literally map a vast area of our vineyards, spotting out some of these totally made of limestone of marine origin. That's also the origin of Sicily as an island. This is where we decided to focus on as the quality that we actually saw of the grapes coming from these vineyards was particularly higher. From these vineyards, two specific areas actually that we call Contrada. Last year we released what nowadays is the top of our range, that we call internally anyway Vini di Contrada, district wines. A white and a red. The white is called the Bertolino Soprano, made produced from Grillo 100%, and the second one is Terra del Sommarco, coming from Nero d'Avola 100%. Roberta will give you and provide you with additional details later on. Going towards the very end, in order to provide you with a full and comprehensive introduction to the Madrarossa world, in 2020, so this year, we've opened another chapter by putting our attention on a different terroir, okay, of our island, always with the focus of studying native varietals, and that was through a cooperation on Mount Etna. In fact, just last week, we released for the very first time a white and a red wine coming from Etna. But this is not the case to talk about these new wines. This is, as I said, a third, a very recent new chapter. I'm pretty sure we'll have time in the future to talk about this on another occasion. Now, before leaving the stage to Roberta, there's a small little video made with and by Francesco Di Carlo, who is part of our agronomist team, who talks about from one of our Chardonnay vineyard. This video, the aim of this video is more like to tell you that agricultural or vineyard life does not stop and goes on despite the terrible moment that we're going through caused by COVID-19. That's all for me by now.
Thank you, Stefan. So to reiterate, the video we're about to watch with Francesco is in Italian, but it goes to show the parameters they're taking in play. They've set in place in the vineyards to show, just as Stefan said, that the agriculture goes on despite the COVID-19, and we'll show you what that looks like in a second.
You want Robert or Paula, or do you want to sign it? Why don't you sign it?
You sign it.
Robert or Bob?
Is your call already over?
No, they're starting the video.
sono Francesco Di Carlo, uno dei tecnici di Mandrarossa. Oggi ci troviamo a Menfi, in contrada genovese. Questo è uno dei nostri vigneti, per l'esattezza di Chardonnay. Oggi stiamo facendo la potatura verde che si fa su per giù in questo periodo dell'anno. Questo dimostra che, nonostante il coronavirus, la natura non si ferma. Continuiamo a lavorare in tutta sicurezza, mantenendo la distanza sociale e adottando le misure necessarie per evitare il contagio, come i guanti e le mascherine. Ci prepariamo per la prossima vendemmia che darà ottimi vini.
Okay, Roberta? 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 Did we lose her?
Don't know. Do you know what? I'm going to call.
Let me try to call her.
In fact, thank you, Sarah.
Okay.
Now it's fine.
Okay.
We got it?
Okay.
Okay.
Say hi. Here we go. I
Yep.
prefer to stay close to my wine. You know that every wine tells a story. So this afternoon, I want to tell you the story of Madrarossa and this huge wine portfolio. As Stefan said before, Madrarossa born in 1999, and in the beginning of our adventure, the wines were 7. Now, in the whole portfolio of the global Madrarossa portfolio, the wines are more than 20. And in front of me, I have the 11 that you are selling in US market. From the Costadune range, Costadune are wines from indigenous grape varietals like Grillo, ZIBIBBO, Frappato and Nero d'Avola, to the international more varietals like Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon, the innovativi like Madrarossa and Bonera, Cartago, there is our iconic Nero d'Avola, and the Vini di Contrada, born last year. Vini di Contrada are the district wines. So, how does Madrarossa mean? Madrarossa is the same name of a valley of Menfi. There is so rich of biodiversity. So in 1999, when the brand born, we choose this name. There is a tribute to one of the most unspoiled and wonderful areas of our territory in Menfi, where we are. We are exactly in the southwest coast of island of Sicily. So, Grillo, you know that Grillo is one of the most traditional and indigenous grape varietal of Sicily, traditionally used to produce a fortified wine like Marsala. The first production of Costadune Grillo was just in 2010, because as Stefan said, before to decide to produce a wine, we prefer study and try the best combination to habitat, to terroir, and grape variety. So the Grillo, the name of the wine is Costadune. Costadune, why? Because here in Menfi we have a fantastic beach, a wild beach rich of sandy dunes. So the name of all the indigenous wines is the same, Costadune, like the dunes that you can find walking among our Portopalo beach. The color of the label is straw yellow, like the ray of our sun. Here we have 300 days of sun per year. Each wine is 100% monovarietal, and the same is the vinification method. So just in stainless steel tanks. So fresh, pure, easy drinking, daily wine, you can say, with a very easy approach. About the pruning method that we are using is the same for each kind of grape varietals. So the espalier. And for the Grillo, the best soil is a mix to sand and the limestone soil. What about the harvest time? We used to pick the Grillo grapes, like for the Nero d'Avola, end of August, beginning of September, every season. And the wine is very light, is mineral and crispy, like the rest, because the reason why they are the sea breezes that came from northern of Africa and refreshing the leaves, refreshing the grapes, and gives minerality to the whole wines of the range. So the Grillo is perfect with grilled vegetables, pasta with seafoods, roasted swordfish, and different dishes with fish or shellfishes. From the beginning of the adventure, so 10 years ago, when the Grillo Madrarossa born, win a lot of awards. I want to remember the Oscar by the Gambero Rosso for the best value for price ratio a few times. And recently, last year, the Planet Grape gave 89 points to the wine, and the San Francisco Wine Competition the double gold medal this year. Let's go with the ZIBIBBO. ZIBIBBO with this brilliant green label. ZIBIBBO is very new, born in 2015. Usually, the consumers believe that ZIBIBBO is a dessert, sweet wine. So we decided to put in the label dry ZIBIBBO. So the consumer understood immediately that is, yes, it's aromatic, it's full of aromas of citrus, especially of citrus, of dry grapes on the nose, but it's so fresh on the palate with a long persistence. So no sugar, but just nature in this wine. Costa Dune as well is the name. The vintage, the new vintage is 2019, 2020 in Italy, 2019 in the US, and the color is the same as the grass of our fields that are around the vineyard here in Memphis. About the time of harvest is the same as Grillo and Nero d'Avola, is the first week of August, and we still pick the grapes traditionally by hand for this kind of grapes. It's aromatic, so it's perfect with sushi, raw fishes, oysters, and about the recent awards, I want to remember 90 points at the Planet Grapes and bronze medal at the San Francisco Wine Competition 2017. Nero d'Avola. Nero d'Avola is the most important grape variety of Sicily in terms of breads. You know, Avola is a town in the province of Syracuse, so in the southeast coast of the island of Sicily, but today the vineyards of Nero d'Avola are everywhere. But you know that Sicily is a continent. Every corner expresses the same grape varieties in different ways. So if you taste a Nero d'Avola from here, from Memphis, a Nero d'Avola from central of the island, or from Avola, the taste is so different. This is a Nero d'Avola by the sea. So fresh, mineral. If you expected something structured, something heavy, never mind. This is the opposite. It's very pleasant. You can have a glass of our Nero d'Avola Costa Dune by the glass as aperitif without any trouble. It's perfect with cheeses, cheeses plateau, or pasta with ragu, or a pizza, for example, with cheese. Why not? And the San Francisco Wine Competition gave the silver medal to this wine and the Canter Wine Award a bronze. But also our Nero d'Avola won the Oscar by the Gambero Rosso a few times as well for the good value for price. Frappato and ZIBIBBO first harvest the same, 2015. So yesterday we can say. The Frappato in Sicilian dialect means fruttato, fruity, because the taste of the wine is so fruity. You feel not just Barasca, like in the Nero d'Avola, that is distinctive of Nero d'Avola, but also you feel wild red berries, fresh mineral and juicy. So it's a perfect wine, red wine, for summertime and springtime. You can have the frappato, a glass of frappato with for example, fish soups, grilled chicken, or roasted tuna. This is the time to fish tuna here in Sicily. And yesterday, to be honest, yesterday for dinner, I had a grilled tuna at home with a glass with my favorite red, the frappato. Very interesting to taste. So recent history, Planet Grapes gave to the wine 90 points, and the San Francisco Wine Competition the bronze as well. So this is the Costadune range. We can go fast with the international varietals like Chardonnay and Cabernet Sauvignon that born at the beginning of the story of Madrarossa in 1999 as well, when nobody in Sicily produced this kind of grapes. We were the pioneer. The reason why was a gentleman named Carlo Gorino that was one of the top 10 flying winemakers of the world in the 80s and 90s. And he was named Mr. Chardonnay. When Carlo arrived here for first time, understood that the terroir, there were a lot of terroirs, there are a lot of terroirs perfect to produce Chardonnay in Sicily. So this was the first challenge. And for I remember, because I'm old, I arrived here 19 years ago. The beginning, in the front label, we used to write unoaked Chardonnay because the wine is so powerful, is so sunny that the customers believed that was aged in oak. But Chardonnay and Cabernet are in steel as well, like the rest of the monovarietali of Madrarossa. So easy drinking wines, and perfect with the pasta clams, roasted king prawns, or mussels for the Chardonnay. The Cabernet is intense, is vibrant, is Mediterranean, a Mediterranean taste, we can say. So it's perfect with game or aged cheeses as well. And the wines who won a few awards, especially for the best value for price ratio, by the Gambero Rosso, by Mundustini, Berliner Wine Trophy, the Canter Wine Award, and a lot of competition and challenges global. So, what's happened in 2010? 2010, the wine portfolio was renovated and the Innovativi range born. Why innovation? Innovation is in terms of original and absolutely uncommon grape varietals for Sicily, like Petit Verdot. For example, the Petit Verdot at Madrarossa is Petit Verdot. Petit Verdot 100%, absolutely in steel, produced in an area with medium textured and sand soil. The altitude is 300 meters above sea level. To pick the Petit Verdot grapes, we have run because the harvest is very early, usually the 3rd or 4th week of August. That is very strange for a red. But the berries are very delicate, so they can suffer under our sun. So we have to take care and go fast for picking them traditionally by hand. Is a wine very fresh, mineral, and with a long persistence as well. And in 2007, what's happened? won the 3 bicchieri by the Gambero Rosso with this simple Petit Verdot from this unknown corner of Sicily. We are still maybe not the unique, but just 2 or 3 wineries are producing Petit Verdot in Sicily as well. So this was we were very amazed and happy for this result. The Timperossa timba is piece of soil. Rossa means red, and here in Memphis the soil is red when it is sandy. So how does Timperossa means a piece of sandy soil, but also is the name of a district, Contrada Timperossa, one of the most beautiful areas like Madrarossa Valley here in Memphis. A perfect wine for tuna as well, for fish, not just for meat, especially for white meat. 3 bicchieri in 2017, but Timperossa won a lot of awards as well. For example, this year the tasting panels gave 91 points to the wine. Planet gave grapes last year 90 points, and the San Francisco Wine Competition 2020 the double gold. So it's a confirmation about the quality of the wine. Have you seen the video? Unexpected Sicily. Unexpected Sicily by this kind of wine as well. And the Bonera. Bonera is part of the Innovativi as well. Is a blend. This is the first, the unique blend in our portfolio. It's a blend to Nero d'Avola and Cabernet Franc. Cabernet Franc is very uncommon for Sicily as well. And the vineyards are located 300 meters above sea level, so a higher part of the Memphis Shire compared to the area where we are producing the Nero d'Avola grapes. First week of September, we used to pick both kind of grapes, and the soil is a medium texture and clay, so 2 kinds of soil. But the Nero d'Avola is absolutely in still. The Cabernet Franc was aged 4 months in barrique. We are using French oak, Allier, second passage wood, so the contact is not aggressive, but gives sweet sensation to the wine, and there is very complex. You feel marasca, wild berries, licorice, coffee. It's very intense, but in the same time it's simple and easy drinking as well. And it's perfect for aged cheeses, for example, or grilled meat, or meatballs, for example. And Bonera maybe is the most awarded wine of the whole Madrarossa portfolio. From the Mundus Vini, last year, gold edition, the summer edition 2019, we won the gold. This year, it's the spring edition of Mundus Vini, gold as well. The Oscar by the Gambero Rosso few times, and also at the San Francisco Wine Competition, gold as well. Wine enthusiasts at the end gave to the wine 89 points. Bonera is a district name as well, like Timperossa. There is in the south, from the winery to the beach, so 5 kilometers far to the beach. Fantastic view. Let's go to Cartago. As I said before, Cartago is our iconic Nero d'Avola. It's a selection of the 3 best vineyards of Nero d'Avola for 15 hectares in total. This wine born in 2004, when the market asked for aged oak Nero d'Avola, so something very strong with character. The wine is aged in barrique for 1 year. This is the actual vintage, is 2017, and with this vintage, for 6th time, our Cartago won the 3 bicchieri by the Gambero Rosso. So it's 100% Sicilian, it's authentic Sicily, is the real taste of Sicily that traditional people need and maybe used to drink. The name Cartago is an historical name and is a tribute to people from Cartago, from Cartagena, from Africa that ages and ages ago across the sea and colonized our coast. Here, the Greek people lived from ages here and in different areas of Sicily. And what's happened? That everywhere Greek people and people from Cartagena fighted to each other, everywhere, excluding then here in Selinunt. There is 12 kilometers far from here. There are the ruins, the witness of this fantastic heritage. And for ages, people from Africa and people from Greece here lived pacifically. So the name of the wine is very actual because it's a tribute to this combination, to this melting pot, to this possible, that is possible to live together if you are different, so different. And for example, the modern techniques of agriculture, viticulture, the irrigation methods, the distillation method are due to people from Cartago. So this is a very interesting and important period of the history, the old history of Sicily that we want to celebrate by this wine. Wine enthusiasts, you know, gave to Cartago 91 points and the San Francisco Wine Competition the silver medal. Bertolino Soprano. Now, this is the new history of Madrarossa. As Stefan said before, in 2014, we started with the study around the limestone soils, especially in the higher part of the district of the Memphis Shire, from Memphis to Santa Margherita di Bellice area, where we had before vineyards, especially of indigenous grape varietals, and where we selected for the Bertolino Soprano just a single vineyard, that means a single grower, to produce this huge and fantastic Grillo. The district wine, 100% calcareous soil, and rediscovered stories by indigenous grape varietals from this high quality kind of soil. We produce this wine that tells the story, the private story of our growers, of the unique growers, Mr. Santo. Mr. Santo, 2 years ago, stayed close to me in this room and told me the story of the family and his personal private remembers linked to this district. The district name is Bertolino Soprano. So I transferred the story of this grower that was, when he was guy, used to go around the vineyard by horse. And usually he meets foxes or rabbits during this trip by horse. So the story of Santo was transferred to an Italian illustrator. Her name is Nancy Rostit, and she transformed the story in label. So the label is so different to the rest, because all the label of Madrarossa is so simple. Tells the story of the territory by the color. Nero d'Avola, the color is the deep, the blue dark when the sea during the winter, or the Trappato is the same color of the prickly pear fruit. The innovativi and the color of the sandy, so very simple. In this case, is the color. We put color and the story of the grower told by the wine. It's a Grillo, 100% by calcareous soil. The fermentation was in cement clip, and then the wine was aged for 11 months in total in big barrel. So it's a unique Grillo, very different to the approach, the first approach of the Costa Luna. Is something more complex. It's very pleasant. It's strong. very captivating, we can say. It's perfect to be matched with baked fishes, roasted potatoes, for example, vegetables, legumes. This is an integral. As our winemakers used to say, this is a grill full of energy. It's a vertical because the aromas of citrus that you feel on the nose and also of white flowers back on the palate, and the wine has a long persistence, so intense, so unique, so Mediterranean. So it's two different options to taste the same grape variety. Last but not least is the Terra del Sommacco. So Terra del Sommacco is Nero d'Avola as well, but we have 4 different ways of Nero d'Avola. We have the single vineyard in steel Costadune, the Nero d'Avola blended with Cabernet Franc with Bonera, the Nero d'Avola right selected from best vineyards of Nero d'Avola grapes aged 1 year in barrique. Terra del Sommacco is so different. Is a Nero d'Avola from 100% calcareous soil from 2 vineyards in Contrada Micina. Contrada Micina is 300 meters above sea level in our district. So 2 vineyards, 2 growers, a short quantity of grape varietals. But in this case, we can say that is a Nero d'Avola without any compromise. Is integral, is pure, is so fresh, is so mineral, is amazing. So it's perfect, for example, with fish or with bottarga, tuna bottarga, or something salty, not just meat. The story of the Terra del Sommacco. It is the story of an historical event connected to the private story of the great-grandfather of our actual grower of the vineyard, one of 2 vineyards, and is the story of the column of the General Orsini, one of the Garibaldini that in long time ago, before the unification of Italy, had a stop during the night, close the area where today is the vineyards, close to a Fattoria Sommacco. How does Sommacco means? Sommacco is a spontaneous plant that's born everywhere nearby, close to the vineyards, especially close to the old buildings. So these soldiers had a stop because they were so tired, and the great-grandfather of our growers discovered, because he was scared all the night long until the departure of the soldiers. This story, the family tells the story to the new generation until now, and I transferred it to Nancy Rossi, the graphic illustrator, and she transformed the label in the story in label. So the Terra del Sommacco was introduced in the market last springtime, 2019, and until now we had 91 points by wine enthusiasts because the wine source was very young, but we are ready now to send the samples, and same is for the Bertolino Soprano for the best competition, because now the wines are ready for the market, and maybe they can be awarded by the competition as well. So thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, please send them by email to Michael, and I will be happy to answer to them.
Great, thank you, Roberta. So we will get to a video of Filippo now. This one is going to be in Italian as well, as a heads up, but Sarah will get into translating it and going over what we're hearing from Filippo now.
Buongiorno, sono Filippo fuoco tecnico viticolo di Madrarossa. Oggi ci troviamo nel comune di Menfi, in contrada Bertolino, e questo è uno dei nostri vigneti di Grillo. Oggi stiamo facendo la potatura verde e la spolonatura, che sono due tecniche colturali di notevole importanza, perché diamo alla pianta un corretto equilibrio vegето-produttivo. In pratica abbiamo un numero minore di grappoli per pianta, che questo ci garantirà una migliore qualità dei nostri vini. Come state notando, i lavori in campagna anche con il coronavirus continuano e noi adottiamo sistemi di sicurezza per evitare il contagio, quale il distanziamento sociale, l'uso delle mascherine e dei guanti. Quindi ci prepariamo per la prossima vendemmia per garantire eccellenti vini.
Okay, Sarah, what was Mr. Filippo talking about in that?
Good morning, everyone. So Filippo, as Stefan already introduced him, he is our head agronomist, so the boss who takes care of the whole vineyard, or the whole territory extension of Cantine Sette Soli, Mandrarossa included. Filippo was explaining that he was at that moment in Bertolino Soprano vineyard. So the wine that Roberta spoke about, Bertolino Soprano, he was right there. It's a vineyard of Grillo, and Filippo with his team, they were performing the green harvest. So the aim of the green harvest, as you know, is to cut the bunches of grape in excess that they are exceeding, so to lower the quantity of grapes produced by each plant, but in order to produce higher quality wines, so much more well-balanced wines. Also, Filippo informed us that despite coronavirus, everything is working well in the vineyards. They are taking the measures that will guarantee that our production will be constant and guaranteeing the quality. So social distancing, masks, gloves, so everything is ready for the 2020 harvest. So that was a live, let's say, a live story from our vineyards. But so Roberta, Stefan, they told us about the history of Madrarossa. Roberta told us a wonderful tale, a wonderful history about each wines. But let's go a little bit more into details about which are the key selling points of Madrarossa wines. So first of all, let's say that we have spoken about quality. Stefan mentioned the internal team, but also the international team that works constantly to guarantee the quality of the wines. The guest star of the research is the soil. And the aim is to identify the best vineyard to grow each varietals in order to deliver unique wines. First point. Another point is, of course, the educational investment. We have spoken about a big family of growers working for Cantine Sette Soli and for Madrarossa. This means that those growers, those families, they are not left alone. They are drawn, they are led by our experts in order to educate them in how to best manage the vineyards and in order to reach the common goal, which is consistent quality and excellent wines. Unique varietals and accessible style. So the range is very wide, but also very interesting, and basically divided into two: indigenous Sicilian varietals, so unique grapes that can only be found in Sicily and only be grown in Sicily. And those, of course, are for those customers who are curious to try different things, to make experiments. But also international varietals. Roberta told us about the Chardonnay, Cabernet, but don't forget about our Bonera, made of a blend of Cabernet Franc and Nero d'Avola. So those are choices for the customer who are looking for something that they know. So in order to make them feel confident. The portfolio breadth, this is very important because this means that thanks to this wide portfolio and to this different range of wines, Madrarossa is able to offer a type of wine for any kind of price. And this means that we are able to satisfy any kind of opportunity in the market. Could be a by the glass occasion, could be a by the bottle opportunity, any kind. So this is very important. This is one of the best point of strength of Madrarossa. Value for money, we already spoke about it. So at that price point, the quality Madrarossa can offer is something unique. You will not find in the market, and we can say it for personal experience because Madrarossa is sold in 42 countries of the world, and Stefan, correct me if I'm wrong. And in every country, we can see that at that price point, the quality Madrarossa offer is something really unique. Also compared to our Sicilian competitor, of course. Alternative channel, why it's important to mention it? Because we are living now something I can say is a unique moment, difficult moment, but still that changed completely our lifestyle, but also our approach to wine sales and to wine market. So we have spoken Madrarossa as our Oreca on-premise wine, but still we know that Madrarossa is already strong in alternative channels, those channels that are working at the moment. And I'm speaking about independent wine shops, so the liquor store, where Madrarossa is already present, and also the e-commerce, so the online shopping. That's the only thing that works not only in the US, but also in Italy, in any place of the other country of the world. Unfortunately, the restaurants are shut down, so we are focusing on this channel right now, and we know that Madrarossa can work because it has already been working in this channel with a great success. So this is all for Madrarossa, and again, questions regarding the brands, so we will look at those later. Let me give you a brief introduction of our second main brand dedicated to the off-premise, Sette Soli. Michael, if you agree, I will try to play the video by myself.
We can try, Sarah, and apologies to everyone else. We had some technical difficulties with the last video, so Sarah's going to try, and if not, we are aware of the time that we're coming towards the end of our allotted time that we had scheduled, so we'll give it a try, and then if not, we can move on to Sette Soli quickly into questions. Thank you.
Can you see the video? No? Okay, so it's not working. Never mind. Next time. Let me try the last time. Okay, no, never mind.
We'll quickly go through Sette Soli then.
Yeah, okay. So Sette Soli, as I guess you know, it's our off-premise brand. Sette Soli was launched in the US in 2017, so it's a quite young brand. The idea behind the brand is to represent Sicily, so to communicate Sicily, communicate the community behind each wine, and to communicate the territory of Sicily. The range Sette Soli is composed of, it's made of 4 SKUs, so 4 wine. Again, we divided them into 2. We have Nero d'Avola and Grillo, which are indigenous grape from Sicily. So something that connect with the origin of the winery, the origin of the brand, and we added close to them two international and very well-known grape varietals, which are Pinot Grigio and Red Blend. So the range is made to be close to the consumer, both for those who are looking for something new, to experiment, something different, wine lovers of the Italian territory and of Sicily, but also for those who want to stay safe, having a glass of Pinot Grigio, which is the first category in the white wines in the US market, and a Red Blend, which is a growing category in the US market. So Grillo and Nero d'Avola, I will not speak much about the characteristic because Roberta already explained us about the history of the grapes, the main characteristic. But what I'd like to add is that for the Sette Soli range, we have what characterizes Sette Soli range is the accessible style. So those wines are really friendly in terms of style, in terms of taste, and also in terms of price. Because of course they are, the focus is the off-premise, so it's the shelf positioning. So the price is approachable and the consumer will find in the bottle a much higher quality compared to the price, but still very easy to drink. With regards to the Pinot Grigio and Red Blend, everyone knows Pinot Grigio, but this is not the usual Pinot Grigio. It differs from the usual Pinot Grigio from north of Italy. We are speaking about a Pinot Grigio that grows in Sicily, so grows in a region where it's very hot all over the year, very warm weather. The sun is consistent every day for almost 300 days, so it's a full body Pinot Grigio. So again, it has a total different character compared to the Pinot Grigio of north of Italy. So if you haven't tasted them, I suggest you to try because it's something really, really striking and exceptional. And then we have our Red Blend. Again, our Red Blend, it's still a Red Blend, so known, famous, but again unique because this is a Red Blend based on Nero d'Avola. So we have the majority of the blend, it's Nero d'Avola, and then we have added some international grape, which are Cabernet, Merlot, and Syrah. So we have the power and the fruitiness of the Nero d'Avola as the typicity of this grape, blended together with the international grape. Really, the result is very interesting. It's a soft version, so it's a soft, juicy, soft tannin, so very approachable in terms of style to the consumer. Packaging. I think, and I hope you agree that the packaging is high-catching. First of all, we have the sun, which again, Sette Soli. What does it mean, Sette Soli? Sette Soli means Sette is 7, sun is Sole, Sole is sun, so 7 sun. 7 sun, mainly because during 7 months is the key period when the grapes, the plant, the vineyards starts their natural process, natural growth that will lead us to pick them and produce the great wine. So sun for us, for Sette Soli, it's a key element of quality, of typicity of the wine. Then of course we have the blue background, which is blue as the sea. You know, Sicily is an island, so surrounded by the sea. Sea breeze, it's another key element for the character and the quality of the wines. And then we have the map of Sicily, just a visual image of the origin, so where Cantina Sette Soli is located. On the back label, we have the picture of the grower, which again, as I said, the grower is the key message of this brand. Grower as families, as community, most important, as people behind a bottle. So behind each bottle, there is a person who worked to produce it. So very, very important. Together with Pambay, we worked on a wide range of POS material that are very useful the focus channel of this wine. So for off-premise, so chains, independent wine shops. So there is all equipment that can help this wine, this product to be successful. We don't forget that there is still also a website that is live, settesoli.com, where all the history, the story about the brand is accessible. And I mean, also in this very difficult moment, where, as I said before, for Madrarossa, Horeca is shut down, Sette Soli give us, another chance to be present in the market. We have the packaging, we have the style, we have the quality, we have the message. So we think that Sette Soli can be successful. And also, very important to mention, it's the great care Cantine Sette Soli puts on preserving the environment. Recently, we have received a certification called the Viva, which is a certification that states that Cantine Sette Soli it's a sustainable winery. So produce the winery in accordance to certain practices in order to preserve the environment. And this is very important because it really shows that Sette Soli is very close to the preservation of the environment. Also, another value is that the whole production of Cantine Sette Soli, so of both Sette Soli and Madrarossa, is vegan, so 100% vegan. So it's a vegan-friendly product. What are the key selling points of Sette Soli? As I said, first of all, there's the story of the 2,000 growers. Again, behind each bottle, there is a person, there is a community, vibrant, high-quality wines that deliver the Mediterranean influence, packaging, impactful, high-catching, equipped with any kind of PS materials, perfectly suitable for the off-premise, and again, the market opportunities. We have two main categories, which are Pinot Grigio and Red Blend, growing in the US, but still something different, something new. Sicily is still very, very small category, but we are monitoring it very closely, and we see that there is a space of growth. So those are the main points, and for me, I think it's all for now. Thank you again, and we are ready for any questions and answers.
Thank you very much, Sarah. We appreciate it. That was a lot of really great information that we were just able to hear from Stefan, Roberta, and Sarah about the great wines that Madrarossa and Sette Soli have to offer, and the tremendous opportunity we have to sell these wines in this category as a whole. So we realized that we went over a little bit on time, and so we're going to leave it to Mr. Pete Wilcock for some closing remarks. Sarah and Stefan, Roberta, we do have some questions that we'll be sure to send to you guys and then share with the team as well, just to make sure everyone can stay on schedule for the day. But it was more important for us to listen to the factual information coming from the source itself, and we'll be sure to get all the questions addressed and answered in due time. So with that, I turn it over to Pete.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the fantastic summary of both sides of this book, Madrarossa and Sette Soli. I'm not going to take long because I know we're a little late, and we got a very comprehensive overview from the team throughout Italy and in the UK. But I just wanted to put it into a little bit of context in terms of our organization and the current situation. So, Mark Kermode had mentioned at the beginning of the call, 16 years of partnership. And Sette Soli has been part of the foundation of what Palm Bay built itself on, which is being a stalwart of Italian fine wine from around the entirety of Italy. Right now, we've got a situation with COVID-19 where fighting for attention for a lot of brands, for a lot of importers, a lot of operators is very challenging as retailers consolidate their sets, focus on a smaller number of things. But we mustn't lose track of what our portfolio is all about. And Madrarossa, Sette Soli are an integral part of Palm Bay's DNA over the best part of 20 years. And I think right now, over the last year or two, you'll see from what's been presented today, we have a completely new selection of wines, both on the Madrarossa side. It's pretty much unrecognizable from where it was 2-3 years ago, and with the introduction of the Setasoli Sun label wines as well, for which we started to have some initial success in some regional chains, which needs to be built upon. Clearly, the system, the route to market right now, and the retailers that we're operating with, this whole situation seems to be the enemy of choice, and it's incumbent on us to make sure that wines like Madrarossa, wines like Setasoli continue to deliver to the consumer appetite for discovery, for exploration, for something new, and also just to mention that what an incredible team of people from global talent like Alberto Antonini, Pedro Parra, the local expertise from winemaker Mimo Di Gregorio and Filippo Botafuco on the agronomy side, and then this great team of commercial partners that we have with Sarah, Stefan, Roberta in Sicily, Mark in the UK. I really don't think we could have a better selection of products, support, and the fantastic value proposition, which I think is the absolute backbone of this entire portfolio. At every single price point, there's value, whether it's at $10.99 or a Grillo at $39.99, which is a kind of a rare and unique opportunity. But we have a true fine wine portfolio here that I think can work in the bottle stores, that we know can work in chain retail. When the restaurants start to reopen, there's fantastic opportunity there. So, we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our consumers more than anybody to bring choice back into their lives, bring discovery back into their lives. At some point, people are going to get sick of drinking nothing but Josh. So let's give them a Nero d'Avola, let's give them a Grillo, let's give them a Cabernet from Sicily. It's a unique territory and a truly unique proposition. We're very fortunate to have it. And just to thank everybody on the call, and as one last good piece of news, clearly there's something in the air in Italy, because I just want to congratulate both Stefan for his new child that was brought into the world a few weeks ago. So he is raising a baby under relatively challenging circumstances, locked in the house. I think he's finally been let out. And another last piece of good news, which is we just learned that Sarah has shared that she is also expecting. So I'm sure you'll all share your congratulations offline with those guys as well. So we're delighted to share that news as a closing statement. But thank you to everybody on the call. Please, retail is open. Madrarossa can work. Setasoli can work. Let's go out and make sure we give consumers what they want, which is choice and discovery and exploration. That side of the world is maybe sleeping right now, but we have a responsibility to demand that attention and make sure those wines are on the shelf. So thank you, guys. We will let you get on with your days. We will address questions offline. We've certainly received a lot, and we'll let everybody get back to their day. But thank you all.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Susan. Thank you, the whole Palm Bay sales team who joined.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you.